Hey everybody, Dr. Dave Marquis here, and I wanted to touch base on the topic of memory. I've had a lot of people that have been under so much stress that they've started to recognize that they just don't feel as sharp as they should be. And other people are coming in as a result of being in an infected state for a long period of time or inflamed for other reasons. There's a multitude of reasons that people come to the point where they just don't feel right. They don't feel sharp. They feel like they're starting to lose some things upstairs. And that's not a comfortable zone to be in. And so that topic came up again today, and I thought, you know what, I should probably make a video on this and just touch base on it and help people to kind of put that into context and give them some tools. So first of all, recognize that if we feel a little bit dim, like the lights aren't quite on, check some of the simple things first. Are you hydrated? Are you sleeping well? What is your stress level like at work, home, socially? Because sometimes we sweep stress under the carpet and we just start taking it, putting things in our backpack, and we don't necessarily recognize the negative impact that the elevation of cortisol over the course of 24 hours, 48, 72, day after day, high cortisol disrupts sleep. We tend to be poor eaters during those period of time where we get dehydrated or we start to carb snack, and that allows for cortisol and insulin to spike more. Anyhow, bad choices, in other words, as a result of living through stress. Really common. We all fall subject to that. If you've sorted all of that out and you're like, yeah, I'm hydrated, I'm sleeping well, I've got my diet dialed in, and I really don't think that I'm mismanaging stress, then the next step would be to get a proper evaluation. And there's two different tests that we like to do here within our own office. One is the MOCA, the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, and the other one is the CNS. It's a central nervous system study that allows you to look at your memory in all of its different facets. And by doing that test, it doesn't condemn you to any diagnosis. It just kind of shows you functionally where you're at. And I encourage everyone to take the time to do that if you have even the remotest question about your sanity or cognition or memory. Because it'll look at your visual memory, your verbal memory, your auditory memory, your speed of recall, your executive function, and about 7 other markers. And so you can really break things down. What I like about it is that sometimes we're just inattentive. Sometimes we have a little bit of adult ADD. And it'll show that. It'll show if this is just a focus issue. It'll also show if globally you're really experiencing some cognitive deficits. Regardless, information is power. And so knowing where you're at in that can empower you to make some appropriate choices, because there's so much that you can do to rewire the brain and enhance memory. So I just wanted to throw that out there for you so that you know that there are a couple of objective tests. They don't cost a lot of money. They're both under $100. They basically just take about an hour of your time and a technician, and you go through the process. Make sure that you're well fed and rested before you do it so that you're coming in as fresh as you can be, and do the test so that you can evaluate yourself. Knowledge is power. Take the time to do that so that you know where you're at on that continuum. And more often than not, it really puts people's fears to rest, because then they know, oh, you know what, I'm just stressed out a little bit, or I'm a little bit dehydrated, or my ADD is starting to show through. Or, worst case scenario, there is a cognitive deficit, but then you know and you can start to act upon it, rather than sweeping it under the carpet and allowing it to get worse in the future. Hope that helps. Be well.